Hey Japan, super excited to see that you have a community meetup going on. I'm Eric from the Cursor team, and I got a bunch of questions around background agents that I wanted to talk about. So let's get straight into it. The first question is, what kind of tasks do we use them for, and how do we distinguish between background and foreground agents? And I like this question because I don't think we've discovered all the use cases so far. The ones we are doing are for very minor fixes that we can just go into Slack, spin off a background agent, come back in 5, 10, maybe 30 minutes later, and go ahead and merge it. And usually what happens is that maybe I'm on the internet, I'm on Twitter, Reddit, whatever, I see a bug. And then I usually screenshot the bug or copy the text from this, send it in Slack in a relevant users channel. Perhaps it's like MCP related or rules related, and I just post it in that specific channel. And then I immediately just go in the Twitter thread and just add Cursor, please fix this. And it works pretty well. So the benefit is you kind of fix the bug, but you also get awareness from the rest of the team, and you can dog food the product in a sense. So that's one of the tasks. The other one is for linear. So since background agents can be spawned from linear tickets by just creating them, we're dog fooding that internally too, and putting in the tasks that we wanted to build with the product into linear, and letting that actually be the trigger for background agents. So background agents in the nature itself is they're running in the background, of course, but it lends itself better for longer running tasks. And at this point, for tasks where you have a high confidence that it's going to be resolving it on its own. So for example, a task where you might need to debug things or look at data, look at a bunch of different code, you might want to go into a foreground agent to actually understand the full scope of the problem before you let a background agent do it. Another use case we're seeing is that if a bug comes in, maybe from Datadog, it's an alert or something like that, you can just have a background agent look at the issue first, do some investigation, come back to you with a report saying hey, here's what I found, here's some potential issues. Then a developer can go in and look themselves at the code, trying to identify and narrow down what the actual root cause is. And when you've done this, you can then send off a new background agent with the actual fix. And that's going to work better because you're probably going to be a lot more confident in what the issue was. So it's do you want to be in tight iteration loop and feedback loop, then foreground agent is really good in the product. Or if you want to do multiple background agents at the same time, or multiple work streams, then background agents is probably better. But you can always combine them and mix back and forth. And there's kind of the other question here. I'm gonna tap into that, but it's at the current stage, how satisfied are you with the completeness of background agents in percentage terms? It's a tough one. I like it. Depends on what kind of expectations you have. For some tasks it's really good. For some others it's not as good. So I would say 50, because we're gonna improve them a lot. So one factor of having great background agents is how long they can run, which is also an effect of how good prompting are we doing, how much context engineering are we doing, but also how good are the models by themselves, how good is the task specified. And it kind of also ties into the third question: in the future, what direction do you expect background agents to evolve? Which I'm very excited about this, because I think that background agents, they're going to run for a lot longer in the future. They're going to be a lot smarter. And it's just going to be another colleague that you just hand off work to. Let's say you have, in a traditional development environment or team, you might have sprints. And for a certain sprint, you might have certain goals or tickets or stuff like that you want to get done. And usually you divide them per team member. But imagine you can just hand off 5-10 different tickets to a background agent instead of a human, and you can just let that run. So maybe now it's 30 minutes, but in the future it might be an hour, maybe 2 hours, maybe a full day. I guess we'll see. So very excited about like the quality of background agents, but also like the modalities, like see where they are like where is the background agents gonna live. I like to think of background agents as code as a service. It can be. And especially since we launched the API quite recently, you can integrate the background agent kind of like wherever you are. So I've seen some very interesting use cases where you can have a little like floating toolbar on your website and just spawn background agents. It can be from Slack, it can be from GitHub, from Linear, kind of like wherever you can think of running code and interacting with APIs. But then it's also how do we like actually make the development process really smooth when you're working with background agents, like, and I think there's a lot to learn from working with humans. Like, what is the SDLC? You write code, you review code, you peer review it, you merge it, you maybe update documentation. What of these steps can we actually like hand off to background agents? For now, it's a lot of coding, but I think in the future we're also going to see a lot of like review. How can the agent verify its own work, and how can like minimize the work the human has to do? Because the main problem with background agents right now is that with any kind of work that you're not doing yourself, there's a lot of context switching and there's a lot of context you have to ingest yourself, just to get up to speed and understand all the things that went on. So making that whole process more understandable is going to be a big thing for the future. Very excited about it. We'll see what's going to happen in the next couple of months and weeks. Okay, I think that was it for now. Thank you guys for coming out here, and hope you enjoyed the meetup. Peace.